I was going to look up something to talk about in here, but I forgot what it was.
Was it AOC?
No.
If AOC's nudes leaked, would you look at them?
I'm not going to say I... What's going on?
Why is my, like... Here, that's like my stupid wallet thing. Jill, what do you need? Oh, I see you're playing the most fun game ever.
I'm having a blast right now.
Are you doing more damage?
Yeah, definitely.
Isn't it better?
Yeah, absolutely.
So do you think our problem is that we didn't level up CP enough and that's why we hated the game so much?
No.
Okay.
I don't think that's the problem. I think the game's just bad.
Do you think it's a problem?
I think it is a problem, but I think the game is just bad.
Do you think we also made a mistake?
No, I honestly don't, because I remember when I played this, I don't think I used all, like, Kingdom Key stuff. I think I did put in a lot of other stuff. So I think the game's just kind of bad.
I had other stuff in it.
Right.
But apparently not enough. Why is there a video or a movie now called The Pope's Exorcist?
We've run out of ideas. I don't know.
No, don't do that. Don't do.
Oh, okay.
Did you hit circle?
I did, yeah.
Okay, good.
I picked our best card and did that.
Okay, because that would be very bad. That'd be so bad.
How bad?
I'm bad. I'm so bad.
What are you, Larksine?
I'm so bad. Are you gonna fight anything? We have to level up.
I'm fighting this guy.
Okay, why'd you avoid the last guy?
Because I just wanted the
black
treasure.
for you, huh?
Wow!
Was that the problem?
Oh, wow!
That Heartless was
we have a
black-colored?
racist.
So you were like, I gotta avoid it. Well, look at you. You spawned the all-white room. Look at you. Look at what game you're playing.
Well, I just spawned the all-white room because I only want to fight white people.
Why'd you pick 3 zeros? Are you just not paying attention?
No, why would I pay attention?
Well, I don't know, because I don't want you to die.
Why would I die?
Because they're still strong.
No.
Like, it's not like they're easy.
No.
You're right. Great reasoning.
That's my reasoning.
Nice, great job, Donald. 0 out of 10.
So to answer your question, I will not, or I will say, okay, how do I word this?
What are you talking about now? What was my question?
If I would look at AOC's nudies,
Yeah.
I'm not going to say I would not look at them.
Right. But?
There was no but.
Oh.
Except for hers.
Oh, okay.
My size.
In this scenario. Did you think she was pretty?
Yeah.
I thought she was.
I mean, I still think she is.
I mean, I think she's getting a little old.
Yeah. I don't think she's... I think she still is. I think she... I would put her still in the same category as, like...
Hillary Clinton.
Not that good looking.
Sorry. Okay.
But, like, maybe someone like Jennifer Aniston, where it's kind of like... You know, like, she is...
Why does Goofy get erect and then you two rub his body as he...
I don't know. Where I'd say, like, Jennifer Aniston is hot, but I don't really think she's, like, that hot anymore. But I still think she is.
I never found her hot.
Really?
I don't think she's hot. At all.
Huh.
I think she's absolute mid.
Oh, okay.
Like, super mid.
I want to say mid, but I would say she is hot.
I would say she's mid. And I'm being serious. I'm not memeing. I have always thought she's mid.
Oh.
I don't really know why. It's just everybody's always been all over her.
Did you like her when she was younger, like in the Friends era?
I liked her more. I would say she was like a 6 or a 7.
What would you rate her now?
Like a 5.
Oh.
Like just a mid, like
See,
very average.
I think now I would rate her a 6. I think during the Friends era, I think I'd probably give her like a 7.
She was just so vanilla.
Well, you're talking to me here, though.
I know, but I just found her so boring. She was just blonde, white, had nothing going on, no distinguishable features. She didn't wear very much makeup at all. She just felt like a factory default, like, whammon. Like, I could throw, like, a stone in any direction and find 12 of her.
Yeah.
I just find it boring. Like, there's nothing unique about her. Like, looking. Nothing. You know what I mean? Like, when you own an art piece, do you want to own the art piece that everybody else has, and it's like, oh yeah, we all have that, great. Or
if it looks good, yeah.
Or do you want to own the art piece that looks good, and you can be like, yeah, that's mine, like, no one else has that.
But what if you think
that sounds like really possessive about a woman, actually.
What if the art piece that you have, you think looks really good?
Well, then I guess, like, you're fine with it, because, like, everything's relative.
Okay.
Right? I mean, is that the answer you want? Like, oh, nothing matters, everything's relative, everything is subjective, nothing's forbidden, don't call your mom between the hours of 5 and 6 tonight because she will be busy, you know, that kind of thing.
Right, yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
Okay, like, are you happy now?
Yeah, I am, thank you.
Good. We're leveling up way faster.
I know.
I like this world a lot.
Thank you.
It's fun. Why were you hitting that? Are you an absolute brain-dead loser?
I had a galaxy brain moment there.
Are you, like, actually a child molester?
What? No, did you get there?
That came out of left field, sorry.
I mean,
Chris Hansen in the other room saying, like, if he says yes now, we got him.
Would you invite Chris Hansen over?
Don't do the 3 zeros. It's just a waste.
Would you invite Chris Hansen over for supper?
Yeah, and then I would pretend to be underage just to make sure that everyone's safe from him. It's like who watches The Watchmen.
Okay.
You have to make sure that, like, I'm sure he's, like, on the up and up, you know, like, but, like, you gotta check. You gotta, like, you know, test the waters and be like, hey, by the way, I'm 12, you know, right. Like that kind of thing, just to make sure.
Right.
That's what I would do, personally.
What does this thing do?
Oh no, my son just walked through the room. What'd you think about it?
He's looking extra thick today.
Wow, son, double cheeked up. What do you think? Like, yeah, it's like the dinner cast. We've almost got him. Isn't that called entrapment?
No.
Oh, sorry, right. It's like when the cop comes up to you, want to buy some methamphetamines? It's like, oh, wow.
Hello, fellow kids. Okay, how do I reset this?
You hit L2.
Okay.
Is that it?
I did the wrong buttons, yeah.
That's okay.
Like, hello, fellow kids. Want to buy some methamphetamines?
So stupid. I'm so angry at you right now.
Do you think Steve Buscemi is hot?
What's up with all these emails? Because like
that was a spam email.
And it's like, hey, Nate, I just got your email about coming into work tomorrow. You cannot use your vacation time. In fact, we will be deducting your vacation time, but not giving you money. What? Now that you asked that.
Sounds about right.
What do you think about that, bitch? Oh, nice. Magic level 3. Oh, gosh, yes. Nice. Good job.
Now that's an Avengers level threat.
I have a question for you about the MCU.
Okay. Speaking of the MCU, I just bought Black Panther 2 today.
Nice. Have you seen it?
No.
Oh, okay. What are you still interested in watching? Are you going to watch all the movies?
I'll watch the ones I'm interested in.
Yeah, but like what? Because here's the problem. Now that they're doing this Kang arc, right? Which starts with Loki, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of like where the Kang villain arc starts, which is kind of like he's the new Thanos in a way. Like how it's a villain to tie together like the whole next phase or two.
Right.
Aren't you gonna like not understand what's going on in some of the movies if you don't watch everything? Which is my ultimate problem with the MCU because I don't care about everything.
Right.
I'm not like trying to trap you here. I'm actually asking what you think about that because like it's annoying to me because I am genuinely at the point, and this is me. I'm interested in the Thunderbolts, especially now that they got Harrison Ford. I like the other guy who played Anthony Ross as well, and I'm sad he passed. But get CP, please.
With pleasure.
No. I am disappointed with the MCU right now, and even though they have all this Kang stuff going on, for me, what I care about right now is Spider-Man, Captain America, the Thunderbolt stuff.
Right.
I don't know if I care about anything else, actually. Like, I was thinking about it, and it seems like Thor is done for now because of everything going on with Chris Hemsworth, like with his health and
Right.
stuff, like he's taking a break. I would, you know what? I would be shocked if Thor doesn't come back for like one more team up movie
Right.
and maybe something else. But I think Thor is mostly done, don't you?
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe he'll get another movie, but it didn't really seem like Chris Hemsworth was that interested.
I think his role now is going to be delegated to team-up movies.
So you think it'll be like RDJ post Iron Man 3?
Yeah, I mean, I just kind of think like his solo story has probably run its course.
Right.
Should I go over like this one?
Sure.
This top one here?
I agree with that. Yeah. So, but how many more movies do you think he'll be in? Because he's probably not going to be in Secret War or Secret Invasion or whatever because of his health.
Right.
So, like, what will he be in? You know, like that's kind of my question. I want to get to that treasure room.
Is that this one?
I don't know. Let's try and
It's either that one or this one.
Let's get near the blue one first to see.
Okay.
I think we're going to need more levels though before we like try and complete the game. So I think I might have to do some of that.
Yeah.
On my own. But I guess my question is kind of like...
I guess for me it kind of depends on what they do in the future because... For, you know... Okay, well, what was that?
But you're no longer like, I need to watch everything.
No.
Okay, because you used to be that guy.
Yeah.
You were that guy more than me.
I mean, for me, I guess it's like... I am interested in the Fantastic Four. Obviously, they haven't, released a trailer for that or anything like that.
X-Men, I know we're both interested in.
X-Men, yes.
So Deadpool 3, which is MCU. I'm very interested in that.
Yeah, I'd be interested in that. I think it's just... Okay, whatever. Sorry.
That's okay.
I think it's just, for me, my main problem with the MCU is when they started branching out their universe outside of movies into TV shows. And I say this a little hypocritically because I actually really liked a lot of the TV shows. A lot of like those first phase TV shows.
Yeah, you liked the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, you liked WandaVision, you liked Loki.
Yeah, I like Loki, I like Hawkeye.
You liked What If.
Yeah.
Please heal.
So it's like I like those shows. I thought those were great. But my problem is now we've hit a point where they've started branching out to other shows that I don't necessarily care about. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not as into She-Hulk as I was into WandaVision.
I think you would have been, though, if they actually cared about the character when they did
Yeah, sure. Like,
Can you please heal? You're going to give me an anxiety attack.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I don't want to have to lose that achievement for not continuing.
So it's like, I think the stuff that has come out recently has just kind of been whatever to me. And now my problem with it is a lot of those shows are tying into some of the movie stuff. So if I want to go see the new Ant-Man movie, I have to watch Loki. Which I'm fine with because I watched it and I liked Loki.
But what if you had to watch She-Hulk?
Well, and that's the thing. But what happens in the future if something else comes about and it's something that maybe I wasn't as interested in? And now I'm kind of like, well, now I got to sit through 6 episodes of She-Hulk, or now I got to sit through 6 episodes of, I don't know, Moon Knight, which maybe is a bad example because I'm actually going to watch that show at some point. But you know what I mean? It's, to me, when you're diversifying your product across different platforms, it's the same issue I have with Disney and Star Wars. When you're diversifying your product across multiple different types of platforms, and then expecting people to engage in all of those products, I don't really understand how someone could actually stay into that. I get how the diehards can stay into it because they're really interested in this subject and they really want to get into it all. But you can't really expect everyone to be this into it. I can't expect the casual Star Wars fan to be like, well, you didn't read that comic series? It's like, no, like, why would they?
Right.
They have work, they have other stuff they want to do, they come home, they probably have time, like, 2 hours a night to watch something, and they're not going to, like, sit down and read a random comic series. So it's just, Now, I know the MCU is not that ridiculous yet, but my point
Star Wars is.
Star Wars is. But with the MCU, when you start diversifying stuff of like, well, how come you're not seeing this TV show? It's like, well, you can't expect everyone to see that. Here's a good example of this, actually. So my dad...
Who's really hot.
Yeah.
I just wanted to add that.
So, thanks for
context
that.
Of the audience, he's really hot.
Surprisingly...
Oh, your dad, sorry.
Surprisingly, my dad has actually really gotten into the MCU.
Even like newer stuff?
Yeah, like ever since the MCU started. No, I'm gonna get to this.
Sorry.
Ever since the MCU started with Captain America, he's been really into it. Like me and him have gone to theaters to see most of them. He's loved every movie he's watched. He loved all the characters. He has not seen some of the newer stuff because honestly, I got married and moved out, and it's been kind of hard to watch those. But I recently brought over the new Spider-Man movie so we could watch that, like Spider-Man No Way Home. Mm-hmm. And he loved it, by the way.
Had he seen the older movies?
Yeah.
Like he knew Andrew and...
Yeah, he watched all those.
What did he say about them showing up? Did he not know? Like, did he not know?
No, he didn't know they were in it. And he said after the movie he loved that they were actually back.
Yeah.
So it's like... So to someone who actually really loves the MCU, like he's gotten into all these movies. He hasn't seen Thor: Love and Thunder. He has not seen the new Doctor Strange movie, but he's seen every other movie, right? Mm-hmm. He literally said after we watched that, he's like, you should come over soon again so we can watch the new Doctor Strange. And I literally told him, I'm like, well, you're gonna have to watch WandaVision first on Disney Plus, which. You know, he hasn't watched any of the TV shows.
Is he going to, though?
I told him he should watch WandaVision, and I showed him all the different shows that were out, and he said he'll watch that one. He also wanted to watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Oh.
But, so it's like, so I guess for me it was just kind of like this thing of, well, you can't watch this because you have to watch this TV show that someone like my dad who works a lot of hours a week just hadn't watched it yet because... Well, also, to be honest with you, he's a boomer. He's not really tech savvy.
Well, yeah, so he didn't even know those existed.
Well, yeah, getting on Disney Plus is, like, kind of hard for him. I know that sounds dumb, and I know that sounds mean, but it's, like, to a lot of boomers, like, that's kind of hard.
Yeah, because, like, for him, it's like you either watch it on TV at a theater or you buy a disc, right?
Well, exactly. Like, he knows how to work the Blu-ray player.
He probably understands Netflix.
Yeah, my mom knows how to work Disney Plus, so like she could get on Disney Plus for him. But you kind of see how it's like, it's just this added barrier of like, well, you can't watch Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness because you have to watch this 6-episode show. That it's just like, for someone like my dad, even though he probably would like the show, it's another added barrier that he has to go through to add it.
Oh, can I also add, too, your mom's not going to watch it?
No, my mom's not going to watch it.
And your dad loves your mom. You know what? I would go so far. What?
Thanks for establishing that.
Well, you act like that's an obvious, but it's not.
Okay.
It's genuinely not. How many people like are married and they're just like, oh, fuck off?
That's true.
Most. I would argue most.
That's a good point.
Like I would say your dad idolizes your mom.
Yeah.
Like, adores her. Like they spend a lot of their time together.
Right.
And I know that they have some like individual hobbies too. Like your mom jerks off to like the Pillsbury Doughboy. And has like weird Pillsbury Doughboy collectibles and like shoves them up her butt.
She has all those collectibles because my dad's mom used to work at Pillsbury. So when they went out of business, she got like a ton of collectibles.
And then your dad has like the ultimate hard-on for the MCU, obviously.
Right.
But it's not like he can spend all his time with his WandaVision dildo, or she can spend all of her time with the Pillsbury Doughboy.
Yeah.
Like they hang out together too, is what I'm saying.
Right.
So like at the end of the day, it's like you're also not everybody's lifestyle. And this is something I've said I hate about pop culture. It shouldn't be a lifestyle.
No.
Like being a Kingdom Hearts fan should not be a lifestyle. I'm sorry, that's weird. That is weird. It is a capitalist. I can't believe I'm doing this because like I feel like I am becoming what I hate here by saying this. It is a capitalist product designed to take your money. Right. It is also art, and there's a lot of great things, and you should enjoy it. You absolutely should. It's awesome, but like it shouldn't be your life. Like your whole life shouldn't be like, Dear RDJ, I pray to you to ask for guidance as I watch She-Hulk 35, The Rise of She-Hulk's Cock. I don't know.
Right.
Like, that shouldn't be a thing. Like, but, like, everybody wants it. The companies all want it to be.
Yeah, the companies want like you to feel like you're in a subscription service to their show.
No, they want you to feel like your life is a subscription service to their show.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant. It's just you have to devote your life to this. That's what I meant.
Yeah, like because like for me, I feel like the old Stranger Things model. I don't even care about Stranger Things, but the old model. I won't watch it, but yeah. The old model was basically just, hey, by the way, subscribe and watch our show. It's fun.
Yeah.
And I feel like the model now is, hey, devote your entire existence to our entire universe.
Right.
And everybody wants to do that. Like the Transformers movies are wanting to become that now, slowly. I don't think they ever will because they release too slowly. Mm-hmm. But where they want to build like shared timelines and all this stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like remember the MonsterVerse? They were trying to start with The Mummy with Tom Cruise and it didn't go anywhere?
Yeah, I remember that. I also remember the better MonsterVerse with Godzilla.
Yeah.
That I'm really into.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing, is like, I'm fine with shared continuities, but I feel like everybody wants everything to be like a massive shared continuity that is a lifestyle that everyone and their grandma is like invested in at all times. It's like, whoa, did you see the new Werewolf by midnight?
Right.
You know, like tiny little things will come out and it'll be like, drop everything and watch it.
Yeah, it's just annoying.
And I don't really want that out of anything. Like, I guess maybe some people do, but I don't really want... To me, it feels like a religion.
Yeah.
Or a cult. Mm-hmm. I don't want my entertainment to be a religion or a cult.
No. Like, I miss the days with the MCU where every few months you'd go to the theaters and watch a movie.
I would say every 6 months.
Yeah. Well,
that was
by the end of it, it got to the point where they were releasing like 3 a year.
Yeah, which was a bit much for me.
So, but to me, it's like that's what the MCU should be. It should not be like, well, how about you sit down and watch this show, and then how about you go do that, and then how about you go do this thing? And it's kind of like, can we just like watch a movie?
Right.
Like if I go to the theater every 6 months or so and watch your movie, I should be able to understand your continuity. I mean, I understand, you know, if they wanted to release a show like I said,
maybe a year.
Well, yeah, like I said, the initial model was fine, where it's like, well, here's WandaVision, and you're kind of like, well, cool, this was fun. And then a few months later, it's like, well, here's another show, yeah. But instead, now it just feels like there's unlimited TV shows, and it feels like after that initial wave of shows, they started being like, well, now we have Moon Knight and Miss Marvel, and now we have She-Hulk, and then here's this, and you're kind of just like, okay. And that's on top of watching all the movies, too. Like, they also released Black Panther and Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, and all this stuff. And so it's overwhelming. Mm-hmm. You feel like you have to watch and participate in so much in order to understand stuff that it actually is kind of overwhelming.
So, like, I would argue that they have used in recent years the Disney Plus to gatekeep access to the MCU and Star Wars.
Yeah.
Because, like, that's what it's become, is like, well, how do we make the most money off of it? Exclusive content from those universes.
Right.
And that's, like, their main push. Wouldn't you argue that's their main push right now
absolutely.
for Disney Plus,
that's
Star Wars and Marvel?
Yeah.
I definitely would. And if it wasn't, okay, prove me wrong. Release the shows on physical.
Right. No, they're not going to do that.
Prove me wrong. Release The Simpsons physically. That's another big draw.
Right.
But they're not going to, right? And why? Because they don't have to. Genuinely, that's why. Because they don't have to.
Right.
I think I should get these zeros out of the deck for leveling up. They're kind of just in the way.
Yeah, no, that is the thing. And to me, that's such a bad model, because it's like, it almost to me feels like you are going to eventually lose your audience, because eventually your audience is going to not care. Like your audience, okay. You and me are already starting to get that way. I think you're further along than I am, where you're just kind of at the point where it's like, there's too much stuff, I don't care.
Right.
Like, you are just releasing way too much things, and it's hard for me to get into all this stuff. And to be honest with you, it's probably because you just feel kind of overwhelmed with it, because there's just so much stuff that you're kind of just like, whatever, you know what I mean?
Right, and I have a job.
Yeah.
And I'm married.
Right. And plus the stuff they release is kind of let's be honest here, not been as good.
Well, I was also telling Jill about this, too. Like, we've been watching Sailor Moon. That show is decades old. It is from the 90s. I am having more fun with Sailor Moon than I've had with the MCU in a while, other than, like, No Way Home.
Yeah.
And that's about it. I mean, I enjoyed Thor 4. Mm-hmm. I did not love it, but I liked it.
Right.
Jill liked it more than me, and that's great.
Yeah, I really liked it, too.
I liked it a lot, but, like, I didn't like it as much as Thor 3. Mm-hmm. But anyway, my point is, like, I feel like a lot of stuff is on a decline, and every time there's a promise made, there's stuff I don't like. Like, so for example, I don't feel this way. I don't feel like with Infinity War I can look at it and be like, well, I would have done this. Mm-hmm. I actually don't feel that way at all. I feel like I can look at it and be like, they did a great job.
Yeah.
Same with Endgame, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike what everybody else seems to do, where, like, they're the god of, like, good writing, and they're all... like, here's how I would have written Endgame and it would have been better. Maybe you would have written it better, I don't know. But, like, I don't have that for Endgame. Mm-hmm. I just loved it the way it was. And so, because everybody's, like, super critical of that movie now.
Right.
They weren't when it came out, though, by the way.
Everybody was like god-tier cinema when it came out.
Thought it was the best thing ever.
And Allison never has to be hipster. It was like, well, actually...
Yeah, actually, it wasn't very good. It's like, okay, well, you were, like, blowing it real hard when it came out. So,
right.
All right. Yeah, but, like, for me with Marvel... What was I talking about specifically? Can you remind me?
You're saying there's not problems with Infinity War?
Oh, thank you. Okay. So, like, my issue, though, now is that every time they write something, I'm like, well, I would have done that differently.
Right.
And I'm not trying to pretend I'm, like, you know, the best writer ever. I'm not. But I shouldn't feel that way about everything they're releasing. Literally everything. I would have done that differently. I don't feel that way about No Way Home. Mm-hmm. So that's another example of, like, well... I think I might have clicked the wrong card. That's another example of where I don't feel that way.
Right.
But I do feel that way with... let me go back. I certainly do feel that way with the newer stuff, like Doctor Strange. I really liked it a lot, and I said so in my review, but like the Illuminati, complete waste.
Yeah.
No reason for them. The casting of John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic, complete waste. Mm-hmm. They made him an idiot. Why? Like, why'd you do that? You know what I mean? Like, there's just all kinds of stuff with every movie. Thor, Love, and Thunder. Why did you not use the wish at the end to bring back... do spoilers matter? Like, we're assuming people will watch this, right?
I think we can assume that, yeah.
Okay, well, like, if you haven't seen it, maybe skip ahead 15 seconds from here, because I'll be done talking about this. Why couldn't you use the wish to bring back Natalie Portman's Thor? You know what I mean?
Right,
that kind of stuff. Like, there's just so many plot holes in these movies. Mm-hmm. And, like, also, by the way, a big problem I have with the MCU is that the fans who do love it, they seem to want everything to continue infinitely. And I don't want that. Like, I'm glad Sailor Moon ends.
Right.
It has an ending. Mm-hmm. My favorite anime of all time is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. It is 63 or 4 episodes, I believe. It has one movie, like, and it ends.
Right.
And it has a definitive ending. And if they ever wanted to do anything else in that universe, like, hey, here's a story about other characters, cool, that's fine. I'm fine with that, actually. But, like, I'm happy with how it is right now, and I'm happy that it had a complete narrative. And maybe it's the English major in me, but I'm also fine with things stopping at some point. I just don't like it when they stop way too early or way too late. And for me... I think at the very least, the MCU needs a break, because it's dragging out to me, and their argument, like Kevin Feige recently had like a whole argument about like, well, the comics have lasted forever, why couldn't our continuity? The comics have gotten bad.
Right.
It doesn't, like, you can drag anything out forever. Imagine if this channel, which I know some people already don't like, imagine if this channel, we stopped caring. We stopped talking during Let's Plays, we stopped liking each other, we weren't even friends anymore, and we just kept making it. Mm-hmm. It's not the same thing anymore. We can keep doing that. It could last until we die, but it would be bad.
Right.
And that's how, like, Spider-Man comics now, they're bad. They are bad. Because they've decided, oh, well, Peter Parker can't be happy no matter what. So, like, let's write out Mary Jane, and let's, like, write a bunch of melodrama around that subject. And everybody's sick of it, but everybody keeps buying it because it's Spider-Man. So the writers don't learn their lesson. Mm-hmm. Because nobody's willing to be like, fuck off, I'm not buying that anymore. I did that a long time ago. I just was like, yeah, I'm done. I don't care anymore. I'll buy the occasional issue where it's like a first appearance of a new character. I will buy old back issues to collect for like my cover wall, which I love doing for videos and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I'll read certain things online. But other than that, I'm done. I don't care. You lost me. Like, they did this whole... Do you know what One More Day is?
Yeah.
Where they did the whole retcon, for anyone who doesn't know, with like getting rid of Mary Jane and Peter being married. And then for a while there was just melodrama around it. Then it looked like they were going back to make it what Spider-Man used to be and people liked. And now they've been like, nah, just kidding, we're going to keep being dramatic. I don't care. Like, I don't have the time to care because, like, you didn't have anywhere to take it. You continued it for the sake of continuing it. You continued it just because it sells and is Spider-Man. That is the point that I feel like the MCU is at with a bunch of its content in Phase 4 and going into Phase 5, is that the content isn't being made because it's really good and they have somewhere to take it. It's being made to make content. It's being made to fill out Disney Plus. It's being made to fill out the pocketbooks and like the earnings reports at Disney.
Right.
That's not why you make content. Like, that's just not why. That's not why you make good content. You can make content by doing that, but that is not how you make good stories. And so if Kevin Feige's whole thing is like, well, the comics have done so much bad shit. The comics literally had, like, freaking Sue Dibney get raped on the Watchtower in, like, Identity Crisis.
Right.
And everybody makes fun of it and says, like, wow, this was horrible. Why did we need to, like, write this in?
Right.
Basically show this shit in DC. You know, the comics have had, like, the storyline where Lois became black for a day, and Superman on the cover is like, oh, Lois, I can't be with you anymore. Back from, like, the 60s or whatever. The comics have done all kinds of crap that's just bad. So you can't sit here and tell me, well, the comics did it, so therefore, like, it's the same thing you've always said. Being a comic book does not make you instantly good. Well, they've lasted 300,000 years since the dawn of man, so our universe on TV should too.
Right.
No, that's not a reason to continue your universe, is because the comics did something dumb. So let's do it too.
Right.
Comic book equals good. Look at me, I understand fiction. Ah. It makes me so mad. Like, Spider-Man comics need to stop. They need an absolute break, at the very least, for like 3 years. Give it a break. Say something happened to Peter Parker, focus on Miles. I do not give a fuck. It doesn't matter. Miles is going places. They introduce new characters in Miles Morales that matter. They actually have a storyline behind Miles because he's a newer character. It feels like people have something to say with him. And they don't just have some big political statement like black people good or black Hispanic people good. Right. They actually have a character there that isn't a caricature and isn't a drama simulator unlike Peter Parker.
Yeah, they have political statements that are like, Jefferson Davis was actually a good character.
Right, but then it turns out it's his father.
Right.
Right, yeah.
Right, yeah.
But you get what I'm saying? Like, there's a purpose to why it's being written. And yes, a big purpose is money. But it's not the only one. Whereas I feel like Spider-Man, for years, the only purpose has been money. It has not had direction since, like, I don't remember when this ended, but I would argue the last decade, Spider-Man has not had direction. Since the end of, like, the Superior Spider-Man arc.
Yeah.
Where it was Dr. Octavius. And people were mad at that, but at least it had something to say and it had a direction to it. I would argue that now Spider-Man has no direction. Wait, I just did this. Why am I doing this again?
I don't know.
And that's... I'm sorry I went on a whole rant. My rant, though, that I was trying to get... The point I was trying to get at was, that is the direction I feel with the MCU is, oh, you don't actually have anything to say or anywhere to take this. You just want to make it.
Right.
I wanted to go back to this Blue Room.
Well, I think that with the MCU, it's... the unfortunate thing to me is, yes, I think it does need an ending, but... Unfortunately for me, I don't know what or when that ending would be, because I don't know. I go back and forth on if I think Endgame should have ended the MCU, because I think after Endgame, yes, you beat the main boss or whatever, the main villain of the MCU, but there's so many characters in that I don't think they really wrapped up their stories very well from the movie Endgame. Mm-hmm. You know, that to me it's like, well, yeah, Endgame was kind of the ending of characters like, I don't know if
Iron Man.
Yeah, Iron Man. I don't know if I could say spoilers. Endgame's like the ending of characters like Iron Man.
Steve Rogers.
And I thought his ending was great. Iron Man's. Steve Rogers, I was kind of more mediocre on, my opinion. But...
Wow. Not that, just the...
Well, you have to do the blue ones first.
Oh, sorry, I thought I could do it.
So it's like... You know, I thought that was a good ending or whatever, but... And it also wrapped up the Thanos story and the, Infinity story and everything like that. I thought that did great. But there's still characters like Thor and stuff like that, and even like side characters like Wanda and Doctor Strange, that to me, I don't feel like their story was wrapped up. Like, I'm actually very happy with the post-Endgame story of, like, Wanda.
Yeah, me too.
And Doctor Strange and stuff like that. That, to me, it's like, I kind of feel like those were necessary stories. Same with Spider-Man. Same with Spider-Man, Far From Home and No Way Home.
I didn't know how to satisfy that, so even though I wasted some cards, it's fine.
Despite what everyone thinks about Spider-Man Far From Home, I actually really liked that. I liked how Peter was dealing with his pain of losing Tony, losing his mentor, basically, and trying to now essentially grow up and be his own superhero. I like that. I like No Way Home.
I like the fact that it ended up becoming... Nice. Well, it ended up becoming that there was not a Spider-Man origin movie, it was a Spider-Man origin trilogy.
Yeah, exactly.
Do I have to do that? Oh no, it's auto.
So, to me, it's like stories like that... Why did I think fart? Stories like that, I was actually very happy that they continued in the MCU.
Yeah.
But the difference is, like you said, those were actually good stories to tell. Mm-hmm. So it's like...
I would be fine with a Flashpoint, believe it or not.
Well, yeah, and it's like...
Would you? Would you be fine?
I would be fine.
Carry over some stuff, but, like, you can do a new Iron Man.
Well, yeah.
I'd actually be fine with that. Like, so everything that happened.
Yeah.
Maybe now going forward, there's, like... And I'm just making it up. Maybe going forward, you're like, hey, listen, reality changed.
Yeah.
And, like, now... Peter was shielded from it, and maybe some of the characters you still want to do something with, they remember the old reality.
Right.
And then the other people, it's like, hey, look, Iron Man's back. Hey, now we have mutants. Mm-hmm. You could do that very well. I think that would introduce these ideas much better than just, well, now they're here.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Because isn't the mutant thing, like, kind of dumb, like, in your opinion?
Well, it is kind of dumb, because, like, how else would the mutants have gotten here?
Well, wasn't it kind of established that part of it was because of the timeline stuff? Like with Kang and all this stuff that they're going to exist, like that. I thought people
might have. I might have forgotten about that.
I thought people were theorizing / saying, because isn't Miss Marvel is a mutant, right? Now,
yes, yeah.
Miss Marvel's a mutant, not an Inhuman for whatever reason. Even though she was an Inhuman in the comics,
right?
So I thought like the whole point was now mutants are starting to form.
Yeah.
And they didn't before. And, like, the whole sacred timeline thing tied into that a bit, along with other stuff. But, like, I feel like you could have done all of this by, instead of just creating the multiverse, which already existed, or opening up the multiverse, saying, like, hey, by the way, opening up the multiverse also caused changes in this reality.
Yeah.
Yes, Tony Stark still died. That all still happened. But then, boom, now there's a new one. Boom, now there's a new... You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't undo any impact. You don't bring back RDJ. You don't do anything like that. You just start to slowly build up your roster again in that way, instead of just being like, by the way, everyone's here now.
Mm-hmm.
But look, by the way, we brought a multiverse now. All the Spider-Mans, all the Spider-Man villains, Kang... You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm fine with it to an extent, but I think they're starting to overuse that explanation.
Well, and that's the thing with the multiverse, too, is... The multiverse in general is... To me, it kind of feels like some, like, scapegoat. Like, it's kind of like, oh, well, hey, we might have a problem here, or we need some story direction here. Just use the multiverse! Mm-hmm. It's kind of like, okay, like, yeah, that's cool. And by the way, I don't want to criticize the multiverse too much, because Spider-Man No Way Home was my favorite MCU movie. And the entire story of the movie had to do with the multiverse.
Yeah, I'm not trying to say it's bad either. I'm just saying that I do think they will hit the point where they're overusing it.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing, is I feel like if the... To me, my problem with the multiverse is there's no stakes in the multiverse.
Oh, because there's always some other version of the character.
Exactly. And, like, Endgame and the show What If... Like, What If was a fun show where it introduced a lot of different storylines and stuff like that, and I liked the show. But stuff like Endgame established that if you have any problems, you can literally just use the multiverse to fix it. Mm-hmm. So to me now it's kind of like, okay, but, like, is there going to be any other problems that come up because they can just use the multiverse?
Right.
You know, and, like...
And time travel.
Right. And, like, I'm fine with the multiverse. By the way, I should go.
Oh, right now?
Maybe in, like, a couple minutes.
Would you want to level up for a minute or two before
Sure. And, like, I'm fine with the multiverse. Like, I'm actually okay with it. And I'm okay with the story of the MCU involving the multiverse. You're going to have to go
that way, by the way. Just so you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it's just... I guess... Kind of like what you said, too. I really just think it's going to get to a point where they're going to way overuse it. You know, where it's just the multiverse has to be involved in every single possible situation ever. And we're going to get to a point where it's kind of like, oh, what's this story about? The multiverse! Oh, so what a surprise.